Every gambler knows that the secret to surviving,
I don't wanna take advice from fools.
You always won every time you placed a bet.
Money, that's what I want.
Super Bowl 47 preview. I'm Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. Got a confession to make. I can always remember the Super Bowl because it's the same as my age. I don't like to admit to what my age is, but I just did to you. But the funny part is, I actually had myself a year older. I was saying Super Bowl 48. I'm only 47 years old. Anyway, the line on that game is the San Francisco 49ers are now down to a 3.5-point favorite with a total of 48. But we want to take a look at some of the favorites to win the Super Bowl MVP, which is certainly the most popular proposition play year in and year out. The favorite is Colin Kaepernick, and Kaepernick is listed as plus 140. Pretty obvious choice going with the quarterback of the team that is favored to win the Super Bowl. But Kaepernick has a couple things going for him. Most notably, the fact that he has the ability to stand out because of his legs, his running ability. If Kaepernick runs for a couple touchdowns in addition to throwing for a touchdown, he's going to be a great choice. We understand why he's the favorite, and because of the fact he's had the Cinderella year. This is his first year as a starter. Of course, we know the story taking over for Alex Smith. He would be the most sentimental pick on the 49ers side of the ball. Not surprisingly, the other quarterback, Joe Flacco, is the number 2 choice at plus 200. Now, Peyton Manning is a guy who is the poster child for being a quarterback who is probably the best regular season quarterback I've ever seen, but he becomes smaller in the playoffs. Joe Flacco, a fellow South Jersey boy, is the polar opposite. Flacco is a slightly above average regular season quarterback, but he turns into Superman in the postseason. We can more than understand why he is the number 2 choice. In fact, he has thrown for 8 touchdowns and 0 interceptions in the postseason. Every quarterback before him, there have been a total of 6 who have thrown for at least 8 touchdowns and no interceptions, have been Super Bowl MVP. Extremely compelling statistic. Ray Lewis at plus 600. We said that Colin Kaepernick is the sentimental choice from San Fran's side. There is no question entering this game that Ray Lewis is as much of a quote-unquote, we'll do air quotes, sentimental choice as anybody has in the history of the Super Bowl. We all know this is his last game. I'm frankly sick and tired of the hype. But really the biggest surprise to me would be if the Ravens win, that Ray Lewis would otherwise be a strong contender for the Super Bowl MVP, and he doesn't get it. So as far as I'm concerned, if the Ravens win, Ray Lewis should be the heavy favorite to win the Super Bowl MVP. So of the top contenders, he is definitely the best bet so far. Frank Gore at plus 600, I would have him a little bit lower, but if Baltimore is so focused on slowing down Kaepernick, Gore has the ability to make Baltimore pay for sure. Michael Crabtree, really the best long shot so far at plus 1,000. Since Colin Kaepernick has taken over, Crabtree has really flourished. 9 games since the quarterback switch, Crabtree, 7 touchdowns, 771 yards receiving. Extremely tempting at 10-1. San Fran loves to throw deep. He's got the ability to catch it. Ray Rice at plus 1,000. Of all the skill position players, Ray Rice, extremely physical player. He will benefit from the 2 weeks off as much as any player out there. Not a bad choice. Couple long shots, both not surprisingly from the defensive side of the ball. Justin Smith for the 49ers is at plus 2,500. 2 weeks off will definitely benefit him. He's been suffering from a triceps injury. He's been pretty effective against the run. Hasn't been nearly as effective against the pass, but you give him the 2 weeks off, you add to that, there's no greater painkiller than playing in the Super Bowl. Look for him to have a huge defensive effort. He could be one of those few defensive players to win the award. And then Ed Reed for the Ravens. Though Reed plays a much less aggressive style than he has in the past, he is a guy who likes to take chances. Going up against an inexperienced quarterback in Colin Kaepernick, you know that Reed is licking his chops at the thought of jumping the route. Reed could easily come up with a couple interceptions here, maybe a pick 6. So probably the best long shot of any of them would be Ed Reed at plus 2,500, because wouldn't be surprised if he's going to take a few extra chances, return to his higher risk, higher return days, especially against the inexperienced quarterback, because it makes sense that they're going to want to rattle Kaepernick anyway. Visit our website, offshoreinsiders.com, the premier website in the world for sports picks, www.offshoreinsiders.com.